look at how cute this little tree is. It's ombre pink with gold, and it's so pretty, and I got it at Target in like the dollar section, and then there wasn't a tag on it, so the guy who checked us out was like, oh, it's a little bent, so I'll just give it to you for like 75 cents or something. He's like, is that alright? We were like, it's supposed to be $1. We'll pay $1. But it's so cute, and it like makes me happy and cheerful, and it sits right by my books, which I'm not about to show you because I just got the camera set up perfectly fine. Hey everyone, my name is Carly, and I think you know what video is coming. I've got my pink little Christmas tree. I've got my snowflake sweater on. Bright red lip. I tried to do something with my hair. It didn't really work out. And it is now December 1st as I am recording this. Therefore, this is my November wrap-up. You guys have seen so many wrap-ups from me in these past few months. Like, I swear my fall season was just wrap-ups. Like, no other time to film anything but wrap-ups. But that's okay. I like wrap-ups. I hope you like wrap-ups too. Started. I only read 2 books for the month of November. It's okay. School, work, life, bit of a reading slump. And I guess I should backtrack and say I read 2 full books, and I've been reading some comics, and I don't know how many of those I read, but I'll let you know what those ones are. So, I'm gonna get started. First book I read and finished in the month of November was All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. As you know, this was one of my most like anticipated reads of the year. I love Maggie Stiefvater. I was super excited to get a hold of this, was super excited to read it, and it did not disappoint me. It's about this family who lives in Bicho Raro, Colorado, and this family can perform miracles. And so they live on this ranch in the middle of nowhere, and then they have these what they call pilgrims. There's just people that have come to them to get miracles performed. And the thing about their miracles is that you kind of have to do 2. So the first one is performed by the Soria priest, and what this does is it brings out, like, I think they called it the darkness out of you, and so it manifests kind of what your issue is. So you've got one person who has a coyote as a head, another person gets like transformed like 20 feet tall or something, another person it rains all the time on her, just on her, and there's a couple people that were intertwined together with a snake, and whatever is kind of manifesting from them is manifesting kind of their issue or something they need to get over. And so that's the first miracle. The second miracle is done on the pilgrim themselves, and that they need to kind of figure out what their issue is and how they can fix it. And once that kind of happens, then they will finally go back to normal and they can finally leave, because obviously with it raining on someone all the time, or someone with a coyote head, they really can't go back to their normal life. And it follows these 3 cousins, and the ranchers was trying to help the pilgrims, it's trying to help their family, because their family's gone through a lot of issues, and trying to help themselves and bring them, all of them, to a new era. But it was so beautifully written, it was so well done. I am going to give this like a 4 out of 5. There was many scenes where it just made me kind of laugh, and that I imagined it just being super funny, and this keeps sliding off. Also, like, look at this cover. It is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's so much prettier in person. I can't even begin to describe, and I'm so happy to have this show on my shelf, and I'm so happy to have read it. The next book I read and finished in the month of November was A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. It is a retelling of Sherlock Holmes with Sherlock as a female. I don't quite know how to describe the mood I've been in, but this kind of fit the bill, though disappointingly, I didn't actually really care for this book. Like I said, it's like a retelling, so you have Jamie Watson, who is invited to attend this prep school in Connecticut on a rugby scholarship, and while he is there, he runs into Charlotte Holmes, who is everything like Sherlock Holmes, and they both end up getting framed for murder, and it's kind of their, I guess, adventure in them trying to solve who is framing them for murder. And so it's following them in their first adventure together, meeting, getting to know each other, and trying to solve this who's framing them for murder. Yeah, like I said, I didn't really like it. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. Part of my issue is that this is not just like Sherlock and John thrown into modern day, and then Sherlock is now female. Charlotte and Jamie are descendants of Sherlock and John Watson, and that would be fine if Charlotte and John had different personalities from Sherlock, and Charlotte and Jamie had different personalities than Sherlock and John. Unfortunately, they were like the spitting image of their great-great-grandparents, which I guess to me in real life wouldn't make much sense spoilery, but I am putting a trigger warning for sexual assault and rape in this, and the spoiler part is now, so if you don't want to hear it, you don't go, but Charlotte was raped in this book, not in any explicit detail, and it was before, I'm pretty sure it was before she met John. So part of the issue with that was that for about first half of this book, she's constantly touching him and whatever, and then all of a sudden there's suddenly this part where she's like, don't touch me without my permission, don't ask me, and then completely after that it goes back to like John randomly touching her to comfort her and her touching John. And maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt a little like they threw that in just to be like, Charlotte has some issues because of her sexual assault, her rape and everything. But I didn't feel like it was really well done. Like, I wish that was something that would have continued on to really be like, you need to respect when a person tells you not to touch them, you need to respect that. And I didn't feel like that respect was given throughout the rest of the book, which then it was finally again mentioned at the very end where she's like, oh, I'm trying to get better with you touching me and everything. And it was like, well, for most of the book you kind of seem to have no issue with that, which totally got rid of, I mean, was besides the point. Like, I mean, it was completely forgotten about it, except for in the form of it being a plot kind of thing. And when it wasn't useful as a plot, it wasn't ever mentioned. And there was lots of moments in here where it is explicitly mentioned of the two of them touching each other without that getting explicit permission from each other to touch each other. And I'm not talking in a sexual way, I'm talking just touching her arm, she touches his face a couple of times, I think, just that kind of thing. And she made a big deal out of it. It should have been, I felt it should have been carried on throughout the book. The spoilery bit, I think, is over. But there was also some moments where some deductions that Charlotte made didn't really make any sense to me. Like, there literally was one time where she made a deduction and I was waiting for that, like, her to be like, haha, JK, no one can actually figure that out. And that never came. And then she happened to be right. And I was like, this literally makes no sense whatsoever. Like, I'm sorry. This isn't making much sense at all. Really, this is the deduction you went with. Yeah, it was just like the little things like that just doesn't make sense. I really did not care for the characterizations. Like I said before, it was like, I really wish this would have been their own person and Sherlock and John weren't actually like real in this story. I wish this would have just been Sherlock and John in modern day and Sherlock is a female, rather than Sherlock and John in modern day. Sherlock is now the female, but they're also descendants of Sherlock and John, so this isn't actually truly Sherlock and John. I just wish it would have gone that way. And then I also wish they made Sherlock female. Why can't they make John female? Like, I wish it would have gone full on and made Jamie Watson a female. And then, but I'm sure they did the Charlotte and John thing, whatever, so they can have their heterosexual romance. I don't know. I wish it would have gone full on with Charlotte and Jamie, both female. Yep. I wish it would have done that so badly. And then, just quick add notes to this, because I now am remembering. Because I'm not quite done with it. Okay, I meant to mention this in my October wrap-up, and I totally forgot. But I've been reading the Teen Titans comics, Volume 3, created by Geoff Johns and Mike Niccone, and I gotta say, I am really freaking loving it. Like, A+. Those are good. I think I was really wary going into it because the last comics I really read was Captain America Volume 5, the ones with, Winter Soldier storyline and everything, and honestly, I was super bored by those. But this has reminded me about how much I actually really like comics, because like Hawkeye Volume 5, the Matt Faction ones, I love those. I love that. Miss Marvel with Kamala Khan, I have not finished it, but the ones I read, absolutely loved. All new Ghost Rider. It's been a while, and I never finished that one either, and I really want to, but that one, super good. Also read Young Avengers, which had its slow moments, but again, it was super good still. I've been reading Teen Titans, Volume 3. I am absolutely loving it. I just got in a really big Teen Titans move, so I've also been watching the cartoon. I started reading the comics, and also, I am so in love with Beast Boy Raven, like, it's not even funny. And, like, look at this. Look at my computer screen. Can you see it? It's artwork of Beast Boy and Raven done by this artist called Gabriel Piccolo. He has a whole line of like Teen Titans artwork he has done, and it's all absolutely gorgeous. I'll leave a link to like his Instagram below because I love it, and it's all like modern day Teen Titans, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. And I found an article about his stuff, and it threw me down this Teen Titans hole, and I'm so happy about it because Teen Titans is so good. Like, I'm so in love with it. It is fantastic. Okay, now that that is done, that's all I read. That's all I've been reading. It's, like I said, kind of in a reading slump. I feel in the mood for specific things, but I don't quite know how to put that into words. So, c'est la vie. December's really gonna be like a super slow month because I work in retail, and like, I hate this. But I'm kind of excited for the end of the year stuff, so I'm planning a little bit of stuff there. Mostly just stereotypical list stuff, but I'm excited to share it all with you. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button, please, and I thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.